Hi everybody, Armor Director John Clements here. I want to talk very briefly about an introduction to a concept known as the scale and the key within Renaissance martial arts teachings. Now, most people who study the source manuals and treatises of Renaissance martial arts, 14th, 15th, 16th century teachings, will stand essentially like this. This is perfectly fine, this is in the sources, it works, it's important, it's necessary. You find it in most of the world's martial arts. Some people will do it with the heels in line. That's not correct. We won't get into why they do that, why that is done. Sometimes you'll see people who will do it low like this, which again, not quite appropriate. We're not going to go into why. You'll also sometimes see people stand in an L stance with the heels lined up. Now this L stance only begins to appear in the age of the rapier with the thrusting weapons. It does not show up earlier than that. We're not going to go into why that exists. However, there is another position that is in the sources, and it's all over the place, staring everyone in the face, but it has been missed. And this element is crucial, it is integral to understanding the movement and motion that these teachings want you to perform. And it is also vital for performing actions with the proper intent and energy and leverage. And that element is known as the scale or the key. Now we are told in German sources that we should stand with our legs against one another as if on a scale or in a scale. What is a scale? A scale is a balance. It's something, a device. You put weight on one side and you have to put weight on the other side to balance it out. If you take weight off, you got to take it off the other side to balance it out. It's the idea of being in a stance that provides equilibrium and balance, like this. However, the feet are supposed to be against one another, not literally against one another, although there are times when you might move to that position. They mean that as you push on one or push on the other or lift one or lift the other, you have to move. How do you do that? Well, you do it by turning the key. Italian sources talk about the leg as being like a key, legs being like keys, and that they open and close things, and that without this you cannot fight with strength, that you cannot fight well. Well, what is this key? Well, the leg is shaped like a key, with the foot being the end of the key that goes in the lock and turns the lock and opens the door and allows us to move through it. And that action consists of this. This is the turning of the key. This is the Waage, the scale. By turning the hip, we achieve superior leverage that allows us to move in certain ways with more speed and more power, and to do techniques with the proper force. And by using and employing and incorporating this concept of turning that foot, you will find yourself in stances that only make sense when you know that you are supposed to be turning the key to achieve them. So we see this stance throughout the world's martial arts going back some 4, 5, 6,000 years. And this stance is also in our source literature, with the front leg bent, the rear leg stretched, and with the foot turned, so that we turn that key. And by doing this, we thought, well, perhaps this is really just an L stance seen from a certain angle so that it looks like it's open. But it turns out this is not the case. And the evidence for it being not here, but here, and not here, but here. My torso, my hips face forward, but my foot turns. And with my foot turning, I can move, and I can move with power, and I can move with speed, whether I'm passing, or traversing, or turning, advancing, or retreating. I'm going to be doing it in this incredible position that allows me to achieve extremely low stances that we see in the sources, as well as to do things that don't make sense with certain weapons until you suddenly turn that key, align your spine up, and achieve a position of extraordinary leverage with various weapons. So by turning the key, we achieve things. Turn your key, stay in your scale.